Welcome to one of the greatest American art forms, the mixtape. Traditionally, a mixtape is a homemade compilation of media from multiple sources recorded into a medium like a CD, VHS, or cassette tape. What I present here is one part of what I call mixtape therapy, a collection of authentic conversations, usually involving multiple people, compiled into a podcast. Just as you might share a mixtape, I share these conversations with you, hoping that you will share them with others and they connect us in a similar way. Now, join me for a little mixtape therapy. So graciously, I talked these guys into sticking around and doing another form of what I call mixtape therapy. And this is where we're going to learn a lot more about Shawn and Russ and their relationship. And so I've got some questions lined up. We might do 6 of them. We might end up doing more. I might have my own questions. The original questions come from a game called Unpack That. It's called Therapy in a Box. And the subject matters are the bad, the good, tough questions, and reflection.
Oh, let's go. This is going to be good shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so what I usually do, this is what I've been doing. Does somebody want to go first? Who knows who wants to go first? Or y'all want to rock, scissors, paper for it or something?
I'll go first. Give me that mic.
Thrilled right now.
Give me that mic. If we're battling, I'm going first.
Okay, Shawn, let's save reflection for last. Okay. So do you want to do tough questions, the bad, or the good?
Let's go with the bad.
Bad?
Or should I just start? Let's go.
Start with the bad.
Yeah, bad first, always.
All right. Hey, well, this is a good one to start off with. All right, Shawn, you're asking Russ if you could change one thing about me, what it would be.
Oh.
So he needs to tell me one thing he wants to change about me?
Yeah, and then you're gonna answer the question back to him, but he's gonna go first.
Get nitty gritty, dog. Fuck it. Let's do this. If we're gonna do it, let's do it.
Okay. One thing that comes to mind right off the rip. You're stubborn as fuck. Like so stubborn.
No, I'm not. No, I'm kidding.
Come on.
No, probably.
So that puts you set in your ways a little bit about certain things like, man, East Coast hip hop, just for example.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's something where I'm always like, damn, dude, he's driving that point and not willing to see the other side of it.
You're right.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
I'll say I'm stubborn for sure.
It comes out.
For sure.
All right. What's one thing that Russ? How was it worded? What's one thing that Russ needs to change?
Here we go.
Russ is overly positive, right?
What?
Russ can be overly positive.
Too positive?
That's not the first time I've heard this.
No, he's overly positive to where a generic version of this would be like, Russ, how's your day? Oh man, no, everything's good. It's great. When in real life, I don't know, you know what I mean? Not that question really hasn't happened, but rather than he's just so positive, he wants to put positivity in the world and all that. And so even times when I know he's going through something or struggling, he'll put that on, you know what I mean? He's got stuff going on in life. And so the beginning of our let's say we work out together, the beginning of the conversation, hey bro, how's everything going at home? How's everything with the wife? How's everything with you? Oh man, it's good. And then we get to an hour later and then it starts digging into a little bit about what's actually going on. And so it's like, we just wasted an hour, dude. You know what I mean?
You could have went right in there.
We don't need to be positive all the time.
He's right, dude. He's totally right.
And
I do that.
And he has a habit. I don't know that there's a bigger champion of me than Russell. Russell has been there every step of the way for my journey, every accolade, everything I've done, he's been there. And so every time I'm with him, he's my boy. You know what I mean? I know how he feels about me. I know he's proud of me. I know he's proud of everything he does. But every time we get together, he's like, man, you're so great. You're doing great things. It's so inspirational. And it's like, bro, you're my boy, bro. You don't got to tell me that.
I know you don't need it.
Right. But I'm just saying,
literally,
so it's
I
overly
want
positive.
to communicate that. You know what I mean? But I feel
so why is it so hard for you to hear that he's proud of you and that you're killing it and cheering you on? Because I would assume that if I were to tell you that, you go hey, thank you, right? So it literally breaks down to y'all are closer, but why would that bother you?
Dude, I can totally answer that for him, probably. Because he's used to other people doing that. But the people that are super close to him, like me and probably 2 handfuls of other people. And he doesn't want to hear that from us. You know what I mean?
I don't need that from him. You know, I don't need that from anybody. But of all people, like, bro, you don't need to tell me that. Like, we're boys, bro. Like, we're equal. We're right here. Like,
But isn't it cool that your best friend or your really good friend like just respects the hell out of you and everything that you do?
Yeah. But how many times do you know what I'm saying? How many
How many
years have we been friends?
Like almost 8 now.
All right, so 8 years of friends, and every time we see each other, he says that. It's like, all right, bro.
I've watched this dude. Like, I used to go pick him up at fucking rehab.
He's seen the fucking.
I've seen it all.
He's seen me early sobriety. I weighed 190 pounds.
Skinny as fuck.
He's
on Suboxone and shit. Like, doesn't know how to fucking live yet. Kind of shit.
Yes, it feels. It might sound silly, but it's like, you know, I don't need that from my wife. You know what I mean? Like, I'm with my wife every day. It's not practical for your wife to wake up and every day and be like, "Oh my God, Scott, your podcast is so good." Like,
she never even listens. So yeah,
you're so beautiful. Like all that. It's like, man, cool. Like, you're my wife. I don't need that from you.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me that.
I don't want to go in the depths of this, but I just had a conversation recently about like telling your partner that you're proud of them. Right. And most people's reaction to that, where they don't want their partner to tell them they're proud of them because it feels like a vertical relationship, meaning that like one is the parent and one is the child, or there's a superior and an inferior.
Yes.
Right.
So, all right.
But and having all these conversations about this, like, you know, telling your partner proud of them, I looked up the definition of being proud, and being proud is really only something you can do. Right.
It's a personal thing. Yeah.
So if Russ wanted to change the way he kind of approaches it, Shawn, he would go, "Man, you're killing it. You should be really proud of yourself, how hard you're working."
Oh, and flip it.
You see what I'm saying? Instead of saying he's proud of you, just acknowledging and making the awareness that, "Shawn, hey, you should be proud, man, because you're working hard. You should be proud of your hard work." And you're like, "Yeah, I am proud of my hard work." And then it becomes less of a vertical relationship and more like a friendship or an equal level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I have, maybe this didn't come off right, but I have no idea what it's been like for him to watch some of the stuff that I've done. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably been pretty crazy. So maybe there is that where he does have that internal thing to want to tell me that every time. But like on the other side of the coin, that dude knows I love him. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's my brother and stuff like that. And so he knows that enough to where when there's time to have a real conversation, like going back to the original hip hop conversation where it's like time to shit or get off the pot, the people that really love you tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear all the time. You know what I mean? Hearing that people are proud of me and, you know, inspired and all that stuff. Like, dude, I get that on I'm not bragging. I get it on a pretty frequent basis, and it's like, bro, like you don't. I know where we're at. We're equals. We're right here. Like I don't need that from you, but what I do need is those tough times when I need that real conversation. I need my, you know, need to be brought accountability, ego checked, like something like that. That's my best friend. That's what I need from him.
Well, I feel like Russ, am I right? They're both coming from the same place still.
Yeah, like
if you tell him you're proud of him,
pure.
Yeah, if you tell him you're proud of him, or like, you know, or you check him, it's coming from the same place of "I love you." Yep. It's coming from that exact same place. You know what I mean? It's just weird that we have different reactions, especially based on your past.
Yeah, and I can't take a compliment to save my life. So that's another big key to this.
He definitely can't. But that goes along with the stubbornnness. Like it's just fucking, it's a thing. But dude, thank you for that. I needed to hear that in some shape or form.
All right, let's see. Russ, you said about Shawn first. So Shawn, now you're going to say, I'm going to give you a little bonus question. And you're going to go first. Okay. What do you think that Russ needs to let go of?
That's heavy.
Sugar.
Oh man. No, not sugar.
Yep.
That boy's a candy junkie.
He's so fucking right.
Hey, I am with you, dude. Like, hey, you know what? If we can go on this journey together if you want to, you know. But that's the best answer you got for me is sugar. What's something? Give me some deep shit. What's something that he really needs to let go of?
Critical. Critical.
You want me to be critical?
No, bro, throw it out there.
Something he needs to get rid of. Can you come back? Can we? I need time to think.
Yeah, you can. Okay, so we can cut all this shit out. Russ, what's something Shawn needs to let go of?
Oh man, I think he's done a lot of that. I've watched him throw away a lot of things that he doesn't need anymore. So that's a hard question to answer.
Does he need to let go of the idea that he doesn't need to be gigantic, that he just needs to be able to move around with appropriate muscle that's for him?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the whole tough guy thing, bro. We don't need that. He is tough. Like
We know
people
you're
can see
soft,
that.
dude. You don't have to be all tough all the
Well,
time.
I am. I think everybody knows.
Dude, that's what makes real tough guys is that they have feelings and they express their emotion and they're genuine about it. And so
Do you really feel like I still try to...
I feel like it's hiding in there somewhere.
What? I still try to carry myself around as a tough guy?
The macho thing. It's hiding in there somewhere.
I was
Subconsciously, probably.
I was just talking about this on one of my episode of my podcast, and we were talking about shame and trauma and all that stuff. And I was saying, recently I've started to dig deep and do some work on myself, go to therapy and all that. And it was just, I kind of looked around. I have a whole lot of things in my life to be happy for and proud of and all that. And I just kind of looked around not too long ago and I was miserable, and there's no reason why. And so I'm trying to find out, why am I not happy? Like, so many good things are going on. And the person that was on the podcast, very educated, very smart, and they were saying that you build yourself up as this person, and then everybody has this perceived concept of the type of person you are, and that if you have to or if you attempt to try to admit that you're shameful or dealing with something, then that shatters that image, and so that's why it's hard. And so then you tend not to deal with it and put it down. So I think there is probably something to that, but there's like the pressure that comes, because I know there's, there's people that message me and tell me in person and stuff that they look up to me or I inspire them and stuff like that. So there's pressure that comes with it. I can't imagine mine's on a very small scale. I can't imagine what like a LeBron James or somebody that's coming like, you saved my life and all that. Like that's some real pressure to deal with. And so it's, I can't let anybody see a crack, you know what I mean, that I'm suffering right now or anything like that.
I'm not saying it's not justified to like where you are currently in your life. I just see that and a glimpse of it. It's like fading, but it's there.
But I mean, I think that, everybody's ego gets them every once in a while.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like
that's why I see it, because I do something similar.
Well, and you're close to him. You know what I mean? So like, you're going to see it on a totally different level than like most people see. You know what I mean?
That's why I put that out to him, because I'm like, bro, you have no idea how many people you're affecting right now. And the beautiful thing, so I don't know if you ever heard this, but like a hero always says, oh, that's not what I was trying to do. And they don't even try. They're just that. They are a hero, right? The only people that can be heroes are people that don't seek it out, that don't want power, that don't want anything to do with the fame or the fortune or any of that shit. It's all about purpose. And so that's why when I'm like, I'm proud of you, that's what I'm talking about, is that thing that not very many people have, the absence of ego in the actions that you're taking. But I can see how it takes a toll. Like he's talking about, he went into a dark place. I get it.
That puts it in a different perspective. Now that I know like how and why you're saying that, like the meaning behind it, definitely puts it in a different, I receive it in a different way now.
Well, see, that's my fault for not explaining that.
Hey, I'm asking a straight up question.
Yeah.
Is Shawn inspiring to you? Like, does he inspire you?
Dude, yes.
Every day?
I've told him that and he just brushes it off.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, absolutely, dude.
I think it's great to
me out there fucking training to do an ultra marathon that I never thought I would do in my life. And for the first time, like a lot of firsts have happened with this guy right here, right? So like I had only ran like 7 or 8 miles at the time, and he was like, hey, we're going to go for a run, all casual and shit. Gets me out there, and we went around Lake Austin, and he's like, all right, bro, don't even worry about where we're at, man. Let's just keep going, and just motivate me the whole time.
How far are we going? I'm like, don't, bro, we're like 3 miles. We're really at mile like 6 or 7.
And then before I know it, I ran 10 miles, and it was like the longest run I ever did, and I survived. I felt like I was going to fucking throw up, but you know what I mean? Like this guy pushed me through that, just being who he is genuinely. And so that is very inspiring to me, man. And I look out for that. But I'm going to throw this out there because it's fresh. So he just did a a podcast with my friend Danielle, or just put it out. And man, towards the end of that, he talked about how she impacted him, and I was like, God damn, like almost teared up. I was like, oh fuck. It was like people don't even know how they impact you unless we vocalize it to each other, and so that's part of my journey that I'm trying to go into now. Like I told you about the men's group I'm in, and how I'm trying to like regain emotional stability with myself, so that when my best friend asks me, how are you doing? I spit it out there. I'm like, hey, this is what the fuck it is. And no shame, just throw it out there. And so I'm working on that. But it's good to hear that somebody notices it and they're like, this is what you need to work on. And that motivates me too. So like, just an inspiring dude all around, man.
I think it's really good. I think if you're inspired by your friends, you're hanging out with the right group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
That's
so
how it's supposed to be, right?
But the difference of it is, it's like letting those people know they inspire you. So like, that's how like a lot of text messaging works for me. Like I texted Shawn the other day and I was like, bro, you killed it on this podcast. Like that was great, because it inspired me. It inspired me to go like, okay, how am I going to approach my next podcast? Like, how do you set up this question? How do you talk to this person? Like I got inspired. And so I let him know that. I let him know like, hey, you killed it. Like, and I think that's what we're supposed to do for other people just in general.
And what did I do?
You're like, no, dog. It's like,
he just played it off like, yeah.
And it was like, and then he was like, I'm gonna shout out your stuff. I was like, I didn't reach out to you for you to shout out my shit. I reached out to you because I wanted you to know that you killed this. You killed that podcast. You should be proud of the product you put out.
Doesn't have to be transactional.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. All right, Russ. Tough questions or the good?
Oh man, let's go with the tough.
Okay, tough questions.
Good questions are easy.
This is good shit, dude. I like this.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is amazing.
Your
question for Shawn is, what is one thing you're afraid to ask me?
What is one thing you're afraid to ask me?
I'm not nothing. Afraid to ask him.
Okay, we'll go with another one.
That's a good one. That's a good answer. Good response.
Nah, I know he'll tell me anything.
That's true, actually.
Is there anything from our past that you have not forgiven me for?
Ooh.
So y'all are too good of friends. That's the problem. Okay, here this is a past event. So okay.
Oh, you snapped on me one time.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll wait.
All right, throw it out there.
I don't remember what it was about or something like that, but I said something you didn't like and you snapped on me. I'm like, oh shit. It was the one and only glimpse of like an aggressive, which I've
You've forgiven him for it, but you remember it.
I probably deserved it, but
I think it was only on the phone, right? Was it a phone conversation?
Yeah, I don't know if he had a long day, he'd been working at the heat or what, but he kind of snapped on me, and I just remember being like, what the fuck is this? Just never talk to me like this. I'm like, bro, you got to lower your feelings right there. But I don't remember what it was, but that's the only thing I can.
I remember the call. I just don't remember the top, like what we were talking about that day.
I had one of my friends one time, we went to this concert, and back to like the beginning of this conversation where we're talking about like you being positive. I don't know what was going on. We're watching the concert. I'm with my friend and I'm just being me or whatever. And I don't know, like if something that happened to him that day or whatever, but he just turned to me and he goes, why the fuck are you so positive all the time? And I was like, what?
My buddy Gabriel did that shit to me. He's like, why are you so fucking happy all the time?
And he goes, bro, he was like, you're so fucking happy. Like, what the fuck? And I was just like, and it came out of nowhere. And I just like turned to him and I was like, hey man, like I've had enough of the show. I'm going to go wait outside. You let me know when you're coming out or whatever. And then we never talked about it ever again. And I was like, wow. And like, I forgave him in the moment.
Yeah.
But I was like, dang, like that came out of nowhere.
It's kind of surprising. Right? Yeah. I remember feeling like shit too after I snapped on him. I don't remember what I said, but.
Did you apologize?
It was very aggressive and it was like very to the point.
It was just so uncharacteristic of him because he's just always so nice and positive and everything like that. And I was like, damn, I must have really got in there with that one. I've never seen him act like that.
I was definitely having a rough fucking day, rough week that period when we had that phone call.
All right. This is Shawn. We're going to kind of just keep going with this. This is for you asking Russ. what's your biggest regret in our relationship? So I would assume, Russ, what's your biggest regret in your relationship with Shawn?
Man, the only one is like not reaching out enough. I feel like I mean, I'm sure he probably feels the same. Like I feel like I don't reach out enough. And I do throw random text messages out there, but I'm like,
he's better at it than me.
I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like I should just call this dude and leave him voicemails, even if he doesn't answer like consistently, like a couple times a week or something. But it just, fucking life happens.
Yeah.
No excuses, right? I'm not throwing that as an excuse. It's just
But
life
see,
happens.
I think that also speaks to the strength of our friendship, because I could not see this dude for a year, and it's as soon as we see each other, it's
Right
love.
back.
It's fucking right back where we were. But there is that guilt, dude. You live way up north. I live way south. You're married. I'm married. And so you work. I work.
We're doing things.
We get done. We just want to veg. Picking up the phone is not what I'm trying to do, but it's not that I don't.
You wake up at 3:00 in the morning.
Too.
I like to sleep in on the weekends. 2:00, bro.
I don't know why everybody always tries to make it later than what it is. My wife does the same thing, and it blows my mind.
He gets up early.
Type A personality, for sure.
Because I get up early and he's already texted me, and I'm like, dang, like he was up before me.
Dude,
You know what
I get up at 5 for work, but if I had a choice, like I'd sleep till probably 7, 6:30, 7, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, I know one thing you need to get rid of.
What, to
That
sleep?
fucking coin flip on your text message sound phone.
Oh, fucking Nina hates that shit.
What
too.
is it?
That's my ring, my
It's like
notification.
Every text he gets, it's like a quarter hitting the table.
Oh, I like that.
He's had it, but he's had
I
it for
thought it was
8
fucking
years.
amazing.
I'm like, bro, it's still your thing.
I'm gonna change mine.
Is
Okay.
yours that too? It is.
Let's see.
That's fantastic.
Let's see.
In the vape.
Oh, bro. We're best friends. That's
Uh,
my other best friend right there.
Hey, Shawn, what's something about Russ that you just don't understand?
His niceness and his positivity.
It's too much.
All the time. No.
It's literally not all the time. Like he's making me out to be like this guy that's just like Mr. Rogers and shit.
He is. You are Mr.
No,
Rogers.
bro, come on. You should see me at work.
Is there something that Shawn has done that's hurt you that you've never told him?
Ooh. If there is, please tell me.
There was one time, so he put this documentary out, 100 Miles to Redemption. Go check that shit out on.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah, on
It's
Prime.
dope.
Watch that motherfucking video.
I didn't put it
dog.
out, but
Okay. Can I just
It
really,
was made about him and his life, and you should go watch it.
really
because
quickly? Can
it was
I
phenomenal.
say my favorite part? But this is my favorite part of the whole thing.
The train?
No,
Oh.
it's when Shawn's like he wants to quit and he's talking all crazy and stuff, and his back's bothering him, and that guy rolls up and he's like, "Come on, man, let's go." And like he talks him in, like you were talking about the long run you got talked into.
He's
that dude
that
talks.
dude
He's,
now.
he sweet talks you into keep going.
He's that fucking guy now.
Yeah, and you're too fucking positive,
He's
Shawn.
that fucking guy. No, but he was like, he did this showing, right? And he like spouted off all these people that were part of it. And I was not on that list. So I was like a little butthurt. I was like, what?
when was that?
Dude didn't even shout me out at all.
Man,
When was it?
I don't even know if he knew I was there. There was a lot of people there. Like, I don't even know if he knew
Was that the podcast
I
thing?
was there. No, it was for the
release party.
documentary.
like is that what you're talking about?
It was one of the showings we did on the east side. Anyways, don't feel bad about it. I got over it very quickly, but in the moment, I just remember thinking, "What the fuck did he even say? I was there, son of a bitch."
Was it pertaining just to the documentary alone?
No, it was about like people helping you on your journey, and you brought Penny up on stage, and like
Oh, okay.
that was where everything, like, because she's the one. I get it. Penny, amazing. Shout outs to Penny. Hope she watches this. But she's an awesome, awesome woman, and she's been through hell and back. But literally saved Shawn's life. So that's when I was like, oh, I don't need recognition from this dude. Just like he was saying, like, I don't need my friend to tell me I'm proud of me. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. But it was just a moment, a fleeting moment where I was like, yeah, this motherfucker didn't even say my name.
I'll be honest with you. Every single time I do that, like thank people, there's always some people that I forgot, didn't get to. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's why everybody, when they accept an award, goes to anybody I forgot.
right.
Because everybody forgets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that
that's
just sets this next question up great. And then we're going to move on to a different subject. Let's see.
That was a good one.
Shawn, How different would it be if Russ wasn't in your life?
I'm asking him that, or he's asking.
Yeah,
me
you're
that?
at, well, I'm going to go both ways with this one, but how different would it be if Russ wasn't in your life?
It would be, I mean, tremendously different. There's, I have a lot of acquaintances, but only a very small number of people that are true friends. And, he's at the tippy top of that list. So,
Do you think you would be sober?
yeah, I don't think our friendship hinges on either of our sobrieties.
Yeah, no, he was in the pocket when we met. Like he was there.
Does he help keep you in the pocket? Or is being in the pocket when you're sober? What is that term?
I
No,
think
like
if I were to stray, he would help get me back in it.
Like a real friend would, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
How about you? What would life be like if Shawn was?
So hold on. That's a better answer to this question. Like when I was saying, I don't think there's a bigger champion of me than Russell. Like that dude's been at everything. Every award thing I do, screening we do, podcast thing we do, like he's never missed shit. He's been there every step of the way. And that's, driving the fucking long drives to come see me speak or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And he never misses. If we're in public settings, I don't talk about myself or bring up the movie or anything like that. He's always the one that does that. And so, that's how I know he's proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Going back to you don't need to tell me those things. There's so many actions that tell me that, and I tell about him anytime I'm meeting somebody that says they need a sponsor, they need this, they need that. I'm like, yo, I'll give you the most solid dude I know. So I think we're very solidified in each other's lives regardless.
Absolutely.
I think I've also I don't know if this means anything, but the fact that Shawn gets the opportunity to do his podcast, and one of the first people he asked was you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he could ask, the team's like, you can ask anybody and we'll reach out to any famous person. And he wasn't concerned about that. He was concerned about getting the people that really impacted him. I think it's really cool.
Dude, I was super flattered, to be honest, but you want me to go on that question?
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'm only, because it's fresh. So had a bunch of thoughts there, man. Like we talked about in the Mixtape Therapy thing, like he made me come to some realizations, some heavy realizations about myself, like making me do that run and not even knowing that he made me do it, like just suggesting that I do it. He wasn't like pulling my arm, like, let's go, let's fucking get you, don't be a pussy. It was like a supportive role. But doing all that stuff and the way that he motivates through the way that he talks has pushed me to break down barriers in myself, dude. And I've talked about that with other people, like my wife, Nina. I've talked about it with some friends at work and stuff and shared the podcast, both y'all's podcasts, actually, with a bunch of people. But, man, that I think is of supreme value to me these days, man. I don't really care about money. Not a big fan of it, even though I have to have it to pay bills and stupid shit like that. But when it comes to those moments where there's some emotional growth or there's some spiritual growth there personally, and somebody inspired you to do that, I think that's why music affects us so much, because that's what it does. It just pushes us to think about things, change perspectives, want to do better, just enjoy a day when you might be down. So he's that guy for me. And just watching his path has made me want to be a better person. And it's also pushed me to do so and to take actions and to do things. And not because I'm trying to keep up in a competitive way, but because I want that. Something we talk about in recovery is you go find a sponsor, you want what they got. Well, now I try to have friends like this where it's I want this around me. We need to have this together. Let's bring this together and create a big super group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's how I feel about it.
He and I are very similar, but we're very different in a lot of ways. And I think the things we're different on, we both look up to in each other and strive to be that.
Yeah.
I wish I had this dude's patience. I wish I had this dude's fucking positivity. All that, because I don't have that. None of that.
All right, so we're going to move on to the good, and this is where it kind of gets easy and a little bit more fun. Anybody can do this. Pick a movie title that would describe y'all's relationship.
Train Spotting. No, I'm just kidding. That's
would
a fucked up
describe it.
movie.
Step Brothers.
Bad Boys.
Oh, Bad Boys is a good one.
Bad
I'm
Boys
gonna
2.
go Boondock Saints.
Oh, yeah. I'm about that. He's literally got the palm on his arm right there.
If there's anything in the world that you could do with Russ, what would it be?
Get that motherfucker to show up to the gym at 5 a.m.
Damn it, man. He's just calling me out.
I just talk shit. Anything in the world. Would probably to go see like a dope ass concert at like Red Rocks or something like that, because I know that would be like monumental to him.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, yo, if I'm gonna experience that with somebody, it's gonna be my dude. Jasmine, I love you deeply and want to experience everything in life with you, but it was just pertaining to the question.
Yes.
Russ, what's something you want to do for Shawn? Like what's something that you would like to do for him? Or maybe something you could give him, or like throw him like a surprise birthday party. You hate surprises?
Man, I mean, I kind of spoke on it earlier, like show up. Like I think everybody deserves somebody that just consistently shows up.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're killing it, but I mean, that's just my opinion.
So I just want to try to continue to do that. But if we were going to do something material, like I would love to fucking throw this guy a celebration party for his podcast success.
Yeah, we got to do that.
I would love to do that with like barbecue and shit, like just a whole mess.
Hey,
of
make sure I'm
awesome
on
things.
that invite. Make sure.
You're there, bro.
Oh,
You're
you're
in.
coming.
You're
Yeah.
in.
Shawn, what is Russ's best physical feature?
His best physical.
What?
The hair, the fucking.
Really?
Yeah, it's got to be the salt and pepper hair.
But you know what? You really do have pretty good hair, especially for your haircut, because I was noticing it's kind of that little slight faux hawky
Oh yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
He's got that good salt and pepper.
Mhm.
I lost
He's got that good. What's that guy's name?
George Clooney.
Pierce
yes.
Brosnan.
There
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Oh,
George
there you
Clooney.
go. There you go.
Yeah,
How'd I know?
Yeah.
Any of these,
How'd I know
any
what
of
you're talking
these
about?
Italian-looking dudes with the dark hair, dark olive skin, you know what I'm saying? They get that good salt and pepper. I wouldn't get that.
Russ,
Appreciate
what
that.
is Shawn's best quality?
So he has this way, and I think that's what makes the public speaking that he does so good, or the podcast, or any conversation really that he's in. He has this way of making you feel like it's just you and him,
Great.
like
Cool.
just hones in. And I that's what I'm saying by being inspired by this guy. Like I inspire to be in a conversation like that, and I actively try to do that, but I just don't all the way have that. Like he's got it. He's just in there. You're talking to him, and it's just you and him. You could be in a fucking room full of crowded individuals being all loud as shit, eating food, just you and him. So I appreciate that for sure.
Love that.
What's your favorite memory of Russ?
Was Yellow Wolf the first one? First concert?
Yeah.
I think going to Yellow Wolf concert with him, it was like my first real outing in sobriety.
Sober.
Like being sober around a bunch of
Yeah.
other people not
Yeah,
being
like-
sober?
Yeah. Like going out, and it was just a big big recovery lesson, life lesson. It was like, oh shit, I can still go live life. I don't got to live in this fucking bubble. I can still go to these places. You know what I mean? As long as my intentions are right, I surround myself around the best people possible. Life's not over. I thought life in sobriety now is just going to be super fucking boring and I can't do any of this
Yeah.
because it morphs as you go. You know what I mean? Like, is that something I would have done night one of being out of treatment and gone by myself? Probably wouldn't have gone so well, but you kind of slow roll it and then you do that and then you do this and then you do this. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Now I've gotten back to actually living life the way I was before. Now just without the substances.
That was a great show. I ran into my homegirl from high school, my Scottish homegirl. She was a bartender there.
I didn't know that.
She walked up to me. She was like, Russell? I was like, oh, shit. We were like, I think we were leaving. And so, like, there's a lot of people around. I was kind of distracted. And plus, we just finished the show and I couldn't hear that well. Heard that Scottish accent. And I was like, oh, shit. I only know one Scottish person that I know of, you know. Turn around and she was there. She's like, yeah, I'm married. I'm a nurse now. And I'm doing this on the side to pay my school bills. And I was like, damn, get it, girl.
Russ, what was your first impression of Shawn?
Man, I gotta like paint a picture because we met at a meeting, but when I saw him, he was, one of the other guys I looked up to who ended up being his sponsor brought him there. And so I automatically knew. I was like, hey, this guy's about it. He's definitely trying to do something different with his life. But he walked up and just no holds bar was like, I'm Shawn, what's up, man? And we just started chopping it up. And before we knew it, we started talking about hip hop. And it was just like, damn, okay. So my first impression of him was like, this guy is really trying to do something different.
Well, he's in the pocket, huh? Like, is that what you kind of term y'all use?
He wasn't in the pocket yet.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But when I say in the pocket, I mean like giving up, like,
oh, okay,
the ideals that we could live life using drugs and doing dumb shit and succeed.
Right.
He had given up that idea at that point. That's what I mean by being in the pocket is like
you've made the decision.
delusions fall short. You're
Right.
like, yeah, I can't live
You're no
like
longer trying to live life on your terms. You know what I mean? Like you've just basically relinquished all control, and it's like, all right, somebody out there greater than me is in control of this, and I'm just going to let them do their thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try to do the right thing. And so, yeah, I think
that. Yeah,
I was ready at that point.
his courage, hope, and faith were like off the fucking charts at that time.
Shawn, in what ways have you and Russ grown better together for the better?
Oof. I mean, we've been there for each of life's most major milestones. I think we both bought houses. We're both fucking felonious heroin addicts that somehow have managed to pull our lives together to the point where we found women that love us unconditionally and want to spend the rest of their lives with us. And we were somehow able to fucking purchase homes, which is
How the fuck did that happen?
the most foreign fucking concepts that I thought were ever possible in my life.
Really?
And so I think we've both done that. We've both, he bought his house first, so I was asking him questions about his loans and all that. He got married first. He's got more sobriety time than me, so he's always been somebody I could like soundboard off of. But we've done this stuff together. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that is what we were great friends before, but that's what solidified it.
Well, now we don't just like chop it up about music. We talk about like, oh shit, man, I'm trying to get some 401k shit going on, or like I'm
Chop it up about
I'm thinking
401ks.
about this fucking investment, or like, hey,
Old man shit.
Yeah, he was like, man, you should do a podcast about families with addiction. And I was like, well, that's a fucking great idea. So like that kind of shit, pushing each other, be better.
Yep.
I want both of y'all to answer this, and either one of y'all can go first. What are the first 3 words that come to mind when you think of the other person?
My fucking dude. It is.
Oh,
we say it there.
My fucking guy.
My dude.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up with reflection. This is the super easiest part. The good's pretty easy, but this is the super easiest part. What do y'all think y'all can teach each other at this point?
I think we've already talked about it, dude. Like he said, he wants to be his patient. He wants to pull some patience from me. I would like to pull some of that fucking willpower from this guy, waking up at 2:00 in the morning and going and working out like it's just a normal thing. There's not a lot of people that can do that, and the ones that do usually succeed. Like the early bird gets the worm shit. Like
It's a stupid lifestyle. I'm not telling anybody to do it. I miss out on so much life living like that, but I love it. I don't know what else to say.
yeah, that's great.
I'm turning into a very early morning person too. I also know if I text Shawn probably past like, I don't know, 7, like he's not gonna respond till 3:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? But I'm good with it. Like, I know he's doing his thing. All right.
Wait,
go. Yeah.
let him answer first.
Yeah, go ahead.
What we could teach each other?
Yeah.
I mean, I agreed with your. I would
Like
love.
what we
I would
already
love to
talked
learn
about.
his patience and positivity, and not all of it, not as much as he has, but
I don't mean as positive as Russ is, but just more positivity.
Like maybe a quarter of it, and I'd be good.
Says the most positive guy ever. Come on, stop.
Okay. Shawn, if you were a girl, would you date Russ?
Oh, what are we doing here?
Wow.
Why are we asking these type of questions?
The question is, would you date your
He's a great guy, good looking fucking dude, got the salt and pepper going on, got a good job. Absolutely.
All right.
Would you date Shawn?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. We can move on from that one.
Yeah.
We live in Austin.
It's a weird question, but whatever.
And either one of y'all can answer this. What have you figured out in life?
That I don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
That if I continue to learn, I'll never get complacent. I was just going to give an example. Like I see, I see a lot of older guys that are just stuck, and I don't want to be that guy.
Mm-mm. It's not just guys, by the way. It's just people as they get older. But you don't want to be that stuck
That's what
person.
I meant. Like all inclusive.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the other sex. I'm commenting on our side.
What are you most grateful for?
Oh man,
in life?
Yeah, either one of y'all can answer this. Well, yeah, what are you most grateful for?
Family, and the word family doesn't just involve blood. Like this dude's part of my family. Like that shit supersedes everything.
I mean, I got to give the same answer, but I'm going to say my wife. My wife is the fucking.
But she's part of the fam.
Right.
She's the fam.
Yeah. And to even have people in my life that aren't blood, but I can still call family, that are worthy of that title, because I hold myself to a high standard, and I hold the people that I surround myself to a high standard. I have no problem cutting people out of my life if they don't live up to that standard. It's just how I get down. And so to have someone as solid, you know what I mean, as bulletproof as he is in my life is fucking lucky, man.
Bro, best birthday ever, by the way.
Well, I mean,
for those of y'all listening, it's my fucking birthday right now.
Let's go.
This is crazy.
Shawn, really quickly.
Yes, sir.
When you were, in your low points of, I mean, you could answer this too, Russ. When you were in the low points of like doing drugs and stuff like that, did you still hold people to high standards, even though you weren't even holding yourself to a high standard?
No. Right? No.
That's good though. I mean, it's good that you weren't doing that.
In addiction, I was the complete yin to the yang.
Yeah, me too, man. I had literally hated myself. Like I don't think my self-esteem wouldn't allow me to try to hold somebody else to a certain standard, because I was just, I mean, of course I judge people for treating me the wrong way. Like I overjudge people.
That's I was going to say that. It was more judgmental rather than holding.
Right.
I wouldn't hold you to a standard, but I'll judge the shit out of you in addiction.
Exactly. Judge the fuck out of everybody.
I ain't fuck with that dude.
Especially in traffic. Like, look at this fucking dude driving a Honda. Fuck that guy. Or whatever. Like just random shit. I don't know. When you're in that mode though, where you have no love for yourself, it's like you can't hold anybody else accountable or to that standard that you're talking about.
I specifically want to ask you this, Shawn, because I'm really interested in your answer, but I want you to answer this too, Russ. Would you rather be loved, respected, or admired?
Loved.
Russ?
I think respect and admiration goes with love. So yeah, I would have to say love as well.
Okay. I would say love. That wasn't as great of a question as I thought it was going to be.
So let me expand briefly. Like if you're loved, like I was saying earlier, people are willing to tell you, the people that truly love you are willing to tell you the things you need to hear. If you're admired or respected, then that might cause people to not do that. And then that's when I think you get a lot of yes men in your circle.
That's what came to mind too when I started thinking about it.
Okay, we're gonna end it with two more, and then the last one I think is perfect to end with. We're gonna run through this one real quick. Do y'all believe everything happens for a reason?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why do you think you met Shawn?
Just to become better.
Why do you think you met Russ?
Because I think we both, regardless of the stages we're at in our life, needed to have that bulletproof, solid person that we would know would be our fucking homie no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I was 7 years sober when I met him, or about to be, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, I was not in a good place really, and so having that connection like pushed me the positive way instead of.
Did you know Russ wasn't in a good place when you met him?
He probably had no idea.
No, I didn't know he was in a good place, but I think a lot of what he said of like being stagnant, I think had I not come into his life, I think he would have been a lot more stagnant, not pushed himself. And then I think on the flip side, for me, I needed somebody that spoke my language, that I looked and I'm like, yo, this is a cool motherfucker. Like, I know he's been where I've been. This motherfucker got double-digit sobriety years. If he could do it, I could do it. Cool. Like, I needed someone in that time to look up to.
An example, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Thank God he was faking his positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Last question.
Last one.
And I'm going to start with, because I want to end with you, Shawn. So I'm going to start with you, Russ. When was the last time you were proud of yourself?
Oh man. You know, this was recently, dude. So I think I mentioned the men's group thing. We started to do this. We started to do this like deep search on things that we want to materialize in our life, and part of mine is relationships. So like Shawn spoke about, like being able to come out straight out off the gate. I'm not okay, and this is why. And like be okay with whatever happens after that, instead of trying to focus on, oh, they're going to think this, or they're going to say this, or they're going to be disappointed in me. You know, all those thoughts that I have. So that self-esteem shit still shows up in my life. But yeah, I think it would be that, man. Like I was just looking back on like the last year by itself, not this whole time, but, and just so much growth has happened, and I've embraced it and I've ran with it
And appreciated it, probably.
and that's why I'm proud of myself, because I didn't like hesitate at all. I just kept going.
Shawn?
This is a tough question. I've been trying to think of it the whole time.
I mean, I specifically picked you last
Yeah.
based on our conversation up to this point,
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to be a difficult question for you.
I mean, I'm trying to think like truly proud of myself.
Bro, you should be proud for what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not easy to do, man. Let's be real.
Do you know how many people quit therapy after the first session?
Oh, I
It's
bet.
like 70%.
Yeah, I bet.
70%.
So
I
you should be proud that you've gone to therapy twice.
Wow.
Um,
That's a big number.
those are great answers. Great answers. We'll take them. There was a guy yesterday. I was lifting at a gym down in San Antonio yesterday, and there was a guy who he was on a machine next to me, and he came up and he was like, "Hey, you look like you know what you're doing." He started asking me questions, but he was like very apologetic. He's like, "I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Man, you could have went to anybody in this gym and you asked me. Like, you came all the way to ask me. Like, I'm honored that you would do that." And so it's kind of the realization, like I definitely have an issue. I only compare myself to people that motivate me, right? And so those are people that are far exceeded where I'm at in life, and it's where I'm trying to work to get to. And so then I have an issue of rarely ever like taking the time to sit and think like, okay, man, you're doing pretty good. You accomplished some things, and giving myself props. And so yesterday was just kind of like a little thing where it's like, man, like a couple years ago, I was a fucking shitbag nobody that nobody would have came up to and asked anything of that I knew what I was doing or anything like that. And so the fact that within a couple years, relatively short amount of time, how that dude could have picked anybody in the gym and he chose to come ask me. It's like, all right, I'm doing something right. Whatever I'm doing, I need to keep doing it. So I'll go with that one.
Good shit.
Just so I don't steal your guys' words, but your guys' answers were better than mine.
Good shit right there.
Well, I think, in the moments where, Russ comes and tells you like, he's proud of you and stuff like that, and going back to that conversation a little bit, he's just kind of going like, "Hey, Shawn, are you aware that you're doing these really great things?"
Yeah.
Like, he's just trying to bring up your awareness. And I think if you bring up your own awareness, you'll go, yeah, like I'm pretty proud of what I've accomplished so far and what I've done. And then that'll help you be better with compliments and things like that. It's hard to, I have trouble taking compliments, but if someone that really cares about you is giving you a compliment, I mean, that's the greatest thing. I mean, your friends telling you that you're doing great should be the greatest feeling.
Yeah, dude.
It shouldn't be a feeling that you're embarrassed of or that you push away. It should be something like, hey, they're recognizing that like I'm doing well as a person that's super close to me,
Right.
It means more too when somebody close to you says something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like the dude at the gym, you're like, what, dude? This guy, like, who the fuck am I? I do that all the time, man. Like, he talks about me and sobriety, and I'm just like, man, bro, I'm just living it. Like, there's not a whole lot of people that just fully live it and embody that, like he embodies who he is. I do it in my own way as well. So, dude, I get it. It's hard. plus, where we like with the 12 steps, they talk about death to ego, right? Like you're trying to kill the ego. So I think a lot of the taking compliments in a hard way is that we don't want our egos to get all inflated and big, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, you got like I got to watch that motherfucker.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if we talked about it on the first podcast, but there was somebody in the running world who, when I had started running and got sober, and anybody who looks at my story will see the way running impacted my life. But there was somebody that was kind of a cautionary tale for me. They had a amazing story that could help inspire many people, and they didn't choose it for that. They kind of chose as a more like selfish route. And so it was just me, like, let me get in front of the camera. And the message was never about helping people for what he had overcome, like using that story to use it to help people. It was more like, what can I get from this? What can I get? And it was just a very cautionary tale where it was like, man, like, I never want to be that. And so as my story started to get out there and I kind of started getting a little bit of recognition, it always stayed in my head because I saw, when I was an addict, my ego was fucking enormous. And so I could see myself in that guy. You know what I mean? I wanted to be that guy as an addict. My ego was huge for no reason at all. And so it's funny that the coin would flip and I would end up kind of start to get all that stuff I wanted as an addiction. But now it's like, I don't want the focus on me. I don't want this notoriety. I just want to use my story to help people. It just so happens I need to be public about it to do that mission. So that's what I'll do.
Well, it's almost kind of like it's not really what you wanted. You just want to be your authentic self. You want to be the most authentic person you could be. And when you do that, it starts to attract other people. I think that's probably a lot of what you're talking about, what you feel. I kind of feel that. I don't have the notoriety that you do, Shawn. Me and Russ you have a documentary. We don't have documentaries about ourselves, right? And so, but what I'm trying to say is, when you're a real one. I had one of my friends. He was telling me what he thought of me when we first met, and I was like, "What do you think of me now?" He goes, "You're a real one." Mm-hmm. And oh man, it gives me chills just think about one of my friends telling me that they think
that shit hit you hard.
That I'm a real one.
You are.
And I was like, that's what I'm working for. And that's why we're attracted to these certain rappers or these certain people, because to us, it feels like that they're a real one. We might not know them, but it feels authentic and real. And I think when you're in the gym, when you're just walking around being Shawn, to other people, they can feel that authenticity, that you're comfortable now in your skin. Because I think you can feel when someone's uncomfortable and you can feel when someone's comfortable, and they feel that, and then you feel approachable. And then that's why they feel apologetic, because they're like, this guy's got it so together, I don't want to bother him. You know what I mean? And I think the moment to make sure...
That's a hell of a perspective right there.
Well, the moment to make sure that you check your ego and you're being proper is when a complete stranger that can give you nothing asks for help. What do? Do you help them or do you not help them? When someone that can give you nothing asks for help, what do you do? And I think in those moments... that's where you go, I'm doing the right thing with my ego. My ego's where it needs to be. The rest of me where it needs to be. I need to keep this balance. I think what you're talking about is you're always fighting for the balance of the ego and the other part of you. You know what I mean? And making sure that dude doesn't get out of control, because he's necessary, but I don't need your help all the time. You know?
Right. I just want to say, dude, you are a real one, hands down. There's not many people that I've ever met that I feel like after the first time I met you, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like I could have called you that night and be like, hey, bro, I'm broke down in Waco. Do you think you can come scoop me? And I feel like you would have fucking been there.
Yep.
I've not come across people that have been more gracious, more hospitable, more respectful. But your podcast is the best one I've ever done. I've told bunch of people about it. The care you put into these podcasts, the thought, the fucking preparation, everything like that. I have no doubt as long as you keep on this track, it's going to do what you want it to do, bro. You are the real one. And I'll cut that as a promo for this fucking podcast. I know that.
Thank you.
No, for real.
I appreciate that.
I agree with all of that he just said.
In this moment, sometimes those things are kind of overwhelming to hear that, someone has that level of respect, but I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Dude, I went home and told my wife, I was like, I think I got a new best friend. But I'm pretty sure that just happened.
I went home to mom, like, yo, this dude is fucking cool as shit. Like, bro, like, we're going to use a little hip hop term here. You're ill. Like, there's not many people that are ill. You're ill.
Man, that's almost a bigger
Illmatic.
compliment than being real. I feel like.
It is.
Do you remember the Eminem song "Nobody's Iller Than Me"?
Not off the top of my head.
It's off Infinite.
Okay, I'll have to go. I'll go back and listen to it.
The first album, but
Yeah,
just
that's a great song.
like when I hear a rap, like the kind of rap I like is that like it's ill. It's that shit that makes you like twist your face up and you're like, oh
Yeah.
oh.
I can't believe
And
you
he's
just said
spitting.
that.
Like, bro, you're
Yeah.
ill. That's
Thank you. I don't know what to say. I appreciate it so much. Well, I always ask everybody on my regular podcast, give me a hug. Y'all guys down for a big ass group hug?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Bring it right here in the center. My daughter calls these Oreo hugs.
Oreo hug.
Because Oreo because there's the center. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Love you, fellas.
Love you, fellas. Yeah. All right.
Happy birthday, Russ.
Oh shit.